Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good Saturday morning, I think. Yeah, we're here going live. We have we have some important things to talk about. We have our broken hearts to share. We're here to support one another, to be in a place that's safe, to be in a place that's safe where you can talk about your broken heart. I I'm a few minutes late, and it's not my fault. It's never my fault, but it's someone else's fault. I went on a walk this morning, and I took Karis, my 3-year-old granddaughter, and so it was actually quite interesting. So we're back from that. Hey, Sandra, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I I don't know if most of you guys know this, but in April, I had a heart attack. A year ago, April, I had a heart attack, and so I've just finished cardiac rehab for the third time. And one of the things they want me doing is absolutely exercising. And I found this walk that's so beautiful out here that I absolutely enjoy. And to me, it is absolutely a spiritual experience to go on this walk and be alone with myself, with my thoughts, with my own energy, and think about all of you and pray for all of you as you're on your grief healing journey, and send you good energy. But the last 3 days, Karis has woken up early. And so for the last 3 days, I've had Karis on my walk, which I'm not complaining about, but it just makes it quite interesting. So just so you guys know, we're getting a white dog, and his name's going to be Bingo. So uh, just wanted y'all to know that today. So everybody, welcome to the live. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I am coming to you completely natural right after the walk, and here I am. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm the owner of the Grief School, the place where healing begins. In 2006, my nephew, um, I don't have him yet, Debbie, and he has to be white. In 2006, my nephew Austin drowned at the lake. 3 hours after we got the call that Austin had, in fact, drowned, I walked up to the stairs to tell Erica, my baby sister, that we had, in fact, found her son and he had drowned. On the way up the stairs, I remember saying to myself, I remember this, you guys, clearly. I remember saying to myself, I don't know how to grieve. I was so naive where grief is concerned. I need to look at this. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I was so naive where grief is concerned. I didn't know. I literally didn't know. I thought grieving was for other people. I didn't think it was going to be for us. I thought it was for them. You know them. This will never happen to us. And lose a child? Are you kidding me? There's no way I thought that we would lose a child. And so I went out on a mission to find out everything about grief for her, because I thought she was the only one that was going to grieve. That's how naive I was. I literally thought, and I've traced it back. I know where it came from, and one day I'm gonna do a live on that. I trace it back to where it exactly came from. And I thought that she would be the only one to grieve, her and her husband, and that it was going to be our job to be the support, that we would be the support staff, that we would sit up and take care of them, that we would be the ones that were absolutely taking care of them. And this is what happened. I was grieving. I was grieving the loss of my nephew. I was grieving the loss of Austin. And my heart was so broken, but I wouldn't let anybody see it. And I wouldn't let anybody in. Good morning, Jerry. I wouldn't let anybody in because I thought I was supposed to be strong. I thought I was supposed to be strong for Erica, for the kids, for my husband. I was supposed to be strong. I was doing what I saw everybody else do when they grieved. I was being strong. And today I want to ask you guys a question. I really want to ask you guys a question. What is your thought of grieving? What is grieving supposed to be like? I think for most of us, we think that grieving is the way we're going to be for the rest of our life. That we come upon our grieving experience and we're going to be this way for the rest of our life. Okay, I just said I walked up the stairs and I told Erica that we had found Austin, that he had drowned. I realized I didn't know anything about grief. The one thing I knew is that there were these bereavement groups, and they took place in the hospital. These bereavement groups took place in the hospital, and they were for other people. They weren't for us. They were really for other people. They were not for us. They were for old people. Let me just put it that way. They were for old people. So I didn't know that part. But I want to say something to you guys. I want to tell you this. Never once did I think she was going to be like this for the rest of her life. I didn't think that. I thought that there was a way out. I thought there was a way out, and it was going to be my job to find the way out. This can't be this way. It can't be that nobody talks about grief. It can't be that we don't know how to do this grieving thing. It cannot be that we don't have a plan for how to grieve. And guess what? Here's what I thought. This is the truth. I thought I was going to call the doctor. The doctor was going to have the answer. But the doctor was going to send me to a social worker, and the social worker was going to have the answer. And there was going to be a booklet. And the booklet was going to be, here's how you grieve. I can't find my booklet. And the booklet was going to be this book, and it was going to tell us how to grieve. And they were going to give me the book, and I was going to know right in there how to grieve. But look what's in the book, you guys. And so I went out on a mission to find out everything I could about grief, a broken heart, and loss. And that's where you see me today. You see me today as that person. You see me today as that person 18 years later. And this is the thing that I know to be true after 18 years. There is no book. They're not giving you the instructions on how to do it. They're literally leaving us on our own to figure this out. Becky says, I thought I just had to make it through a certain amount of time period and the grief was going to be over. I thought there were answers, Becky. I honestly thought there was going to be a book with instructions and a social worker was going to come and help me. And then I needed to bring the social worker to Erica. And that's not the case. But here's what I've put together in the last 18 years. That our grief serves a purpose. Our grief serves a purpose. And what I learned was that when Austin drowned, I was also grieving. Not just Erica. I was also grieving. I was also broken. I had a broken heart, and I needed to grieve as well. Think about this. How would I think about it back then. I was so naive, but how could I not grieve? How could I not be gum? How could I not be the person with the broken heart? I knew this child since the day she conceived him. I still remember the day she told me she was pregnant. Suzanne, I still remember the day she told me she was pregnant. He died in June 17, 2006. He was 10 years old. I had a relationship with him from the day she conceived him and she told me about him. How was I not going to grieve? It was so naive to think, well, I'm just going to wait. No offense, Becky, but that's literally kind of what it got to. After I couldn't find out, yay, gum. After I couldn't figure it out, I just got to a point where I was like, okay, this is where it's going to be. All right. 2006, Austin drowned at the lake. In 2007, I started doing some heavy lifting weight on grief. In 2007, I went and got certified in my first program on helping grievers through the walk. Because in the end of 2006, we did our first program. 2013, my dad died of prostate cancer. 2015, Donovan died in a motorcycle accident. In 2017, my best friend in this entire world, Sharon, died of glioblastoma. And never, 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 never were any of those losses the same. Never was my experience the same with them. Every single one was different. Some were harder than the other. And to this day, as I stand here before you, the deepest loss that I have ever suffered in my entire life is the loss of Austin. And I think because he was so young and it was such a shock and it was such a traumatic experience for me, for Erica, for our entire family. It's the only thing I can add it to. What are we actually afraid of? What are we afraid of? Fear wasn't hey, Linda Lou, I just left Arizona. Fear wasn't the thing that I had. I was on a mission. I had to find out how I was going to save her. Here's the deal, friends. She wasn't broken. There was no saving her from grief. No one is coming to save you guys. No one. Not even me. I'm not going to save you. I'm a guide. I'm simply a guide that says, hey, look in chapter 6 on your book and read what it says right there. And you have to go read the chapter in the book. You have to understand what this grief is. You have to do the work. I am simply a guide. Today's live is on what are we actually afraid of when it has to do with, hey, Miss Erica, when it has to do with grief. What book? That's exactly it, Sherry. There is no book. I do have a book. I have actually a couple of books, but my book, Grieve That Shit, is going to be coming out. I thought it was going to be today, but we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. I can show it to you. It's almost done. It's just being corrected. I don't want to take it out of order because I have so much stuff in here. I'm actually trying to lower the pages for you. Look at that. I love it. Okay, let me stay on subject. There are three women this week. I asked them the same question. And so I want to talk on that a little bit this morning before we get into the title. What are you actually afraid of? What are you actually afraid will happen if you start healing? That's the title. I asked 3 separate women this week, have you done the ugly cry? Have you cried yet? Are you crying? Get that book out. Yes. Are you crying? It's so cute. Like it's all, look at this. I'm not kidding you guys. It's all lined up. Look at that. It's all lined up and ready to go. I was showing this to Suzanne the other day. We were talking about it, and I made a note in here, and I still don't know. I keep changing the subject, you guys. It's not the go. This is really funny. I made this note. It's right here. I'm making notes for changes. So she's making the changes right now. 14-year-old Sharon. Apparently, I wanted to tell something. 14-year-old Sharon. Don't know what that means. So apparently, you guys will never figure that out. Maybe God will send it to me on one of my walks. I ask grievers all the time, are you crying? Your crying is not grieving. Your tears do not equal grief. Your tears equal love. Your tears equal your pain. Your tears are a way to release the pressure. They are meant to serve a purpose. Your tears are meant to serve a purpose. So I will ask you all the time, if you're with me, if you're in group, hey girl, are you crying? Have you started to process some of that pain? Are you crying? What I'm looking for when I ask you if you're crying, I'm looking for if you're allowing the negative emotions in your heart to be there. Tears come from the negative emotions that we express in our heart. Tears come from that, right? So a lot of times when I'm asking you if you're crying, it's not because That's grieving. It's not because that's the grieving. It's not because that's the grieving process. It's because I want to know if you're allowing negative emotions to be there. And what I'm getting to is this. 3 times this week, I asked 3 different women, when was the last time you did the ugly cry? The ugly cry. I'm still not on the subject yet of what are we afraid of. I want to talk about this. Do you guys know what the ugly cry is? She says, I cry every night. Someone says, I did it last night. We will pray for Savannah. Everybody let's tap, tap, tap the screen for Savannah, please. For her granddaughter, Savannah. Let's tap, tap, tap the screen. Do you know what the ugly cry is? The ugly cry is deep. It's raw. It's ugly. The ugly cry is deep. It's raw. It's unfiltered. It's the unfiltered cry where everything comes out. It comes from the pit of our soul. It's where we really go down and we release the pain. It's not quiet. The ugly cry is not quiet. It is not quiet. And it is not silent. Not silent. It's not controlled. Why do I ask you about the ugly cry? We got to do the ugly cry, my friends. I'm giving you permission. I'm telling you, you've got to do the ugly cry. For a lot of us, we resist the ugly cry. We hold back on the ugly cry. We do the ugly cry and we're like, oh my gosh. Here's what happens every time you cry. Every time you cry, you release pressure from your heart. You release the pressure of the pain from your heart. You're releasing pressure. Crying serves a purpose. The ugly cry serves a purpose. The ugly cry is your whole entire body involved. Sometimes what we're holding back in grief is allowing the ugly cry. EK says, I can only ugly cry when I'm alone. Absolutely. I think the ugly cry is something you do alone. The ugly cry is done in the shower. It's done when everybody leaves the house. It's done in that pillow. It's done where the tears just come out. It also involves some of this, where you can't catch your breath. Linda Lou says, I've only done the ugly cry once. Sometimes what we are holding on that is causing pressure in our grief is the ugly cry. People contact me all the time. Hey, Sharon, can you help me? I'm having a bad day. Hey, can you help me? I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad day. And you know what most of them need? They need to go sit down and have an ugly cry. 3 women this week I asked. One of the women, she was like, shocked that was my question. I can tell when you're holding it in. I can tell when you're holding it in. We don't want to feel this pain. Hear me, you guys. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to process it. How many ugly cries are on a grieving experience? I don't know. Here's what I do know, and I know this to be true. After Sharon died, it was almost a year, and I had almost a half a day of ugly crying, and it broke something loose. It broke something that I was holding on to. So what I'm telling you is from my own experience. What I'm telling you is from my own experience. Hear me out also. And I'm going to say this, and there's no science to it, but you guys will understand, especially for women. When it's time for the monthly, that ugly cry is coming. And if you push it back because of all those emotions, it's just going to go stay dormant. So I want to go over this real quick. The ugly cry is deep. It's unfiltered. It's in the pit of our soul. It's raw. It's ugly. It is not quiet. It's not controlled. It comes from your soul. What is your soul holding on to? We release some pressure. And it's actually this. This is the grief. That's your grief. You're releasing the pressure. But you don't do the ugly cry. And you hold on to that. What you are holding on to are emotions, thoughts, pain, feelings, grief. You're holding that all in. Why would you want to hold on to it? This is ugly. This is ugly grief. Grief serves a purpose. It serves a purpose in our body, and it needs to come out. It needs to come out. A lot of you are crying. Hear me out. I know a lot of you are crying. A lot of you are, and one tear falls. You say their name, and one tear falls. Kerr says, I hate crying. Kerr, stop hating crying. Stop hating it. The cry was designed for a purpose. Go cry in person, in private, in person. Go cry in private. The ugly cry is the cry where the whole body is involved, where your face contorts, your voice breaks. You might heave, you might sob, you might scream, you gasp for air. You fall on your knees. You clutch your chest. You might even shake uncontrollably. It's the kind of cry where tissue will not help you. You will need a towel. The kind of cry that leaves you exhausted. Your face is going to be red. Your eyes are going to be puffy. You are going to be ripped up. Why? Why am I talking about the ugly cry? Because within the ugly cry is not just sadness. This ugly cry is the grief that cannot be contained. You're trying to contain it. You're trying to hold it back. You're spending more time and more energy holding this ugly cry back than releasing it. What is in the ugly cry? It's emotions, it's thoughts, it's pains, it's feelings, it's grief, it's your person, it's your love. Oh, I forgot to put that one. It's your love. It's you missing them. It's the things that you can't say to anybody else because they don't get it. It's the text message that you can't send to anyone else. It's the joke you've been trying to send. Friends, hear me out. If you hold back on the ugly cry, you're only hurting yourself. It is you processing the grief in your heart and releasing it. The number one thing we can do for our person is grieve them properly. And one of those things involved in that is doing the ugly cry. It's not just sadness, friends. This grief is doing what it's supposed to do. And when it does that, we cannot contain it. You cannot contain it. It is what happens when the pain becomes too much for your body to hold. When the pain becomes too much for your body to hold, it has to come out. And when it comes out, that ain't silent and that is not pretty. And it is absolutely okay for you to do it in private. Grief breaks us. It breaks us in two. It breaks us in two. What does happen when we do the ugly cry? Because loss breaks something open, because we're pretending that we're okay, because we're pretending that we don't have tears, because we have so much energy we don't know what to do with it, because our love has nowhere to go. Our love has nowhere to go, and neither does our hate, because the moment hits us so hard and harder than you thought it would. The ugly cry is simply a release. It is simply a release for that moment in time, and that moment in time on that grief healing journey. When I did the ugly cry at that 1 year mark with Sharon, it burst some energy. I'm telling you guys something I realized, and that's where I'm teaching this from. I realized what I'd been holding on to. It is not a nervous breakdown. It is grief. It's not weakness. It is a breakthrough for you. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have very many ugly cries on every grieving experience. I mean, maybe 4, maybe 5 in the first year. I don't know. I didn't monitor it. I only monitored that one because I did that ugly cry with Sharon. It was about a 1 year mark. And then it was like I released something. Here's the other thing about the ugly cry. Here's the thing about the ugly cry. It's normal. It's normal. And you don't need to hide it. You don't need to apologize for it. And you don't have to show it to anyone. This cry is proof that you are human. This cry is proof that you loved. This cry is proof that you are in pain. This cry is proof that you are in pain and that this pain is real. Sometimes the ugly cry is the one thing that will get the grief moving. Sometimes when you step into the ugly cry, it is the one thing that will get the grief moving. It's the breakthrough for a lot of us. We've been holding on to the breakthrough. We need to do this breakthrough and we're holding on to it. Sandra says, I haven't cried in a while. I tried to set it up and I didn't. I smiled at videos and reminisced. How can I make the tears come? Okay. One thing is you have to be in private. It's very important for you to be in private. Go back to, Sandra, this is what I would do. I went back to the funeral. I don't know if you guys can do that, but I got the funeral book. I went to the song that we played at the funeral and I downloaded the words to the song. I would do this for Donovan and for my dad. I downloaded the words to the song and I would play the song and I would take myself mentally back to that time. That's what I did. And I let the tears flow. I sat on the couch in the dark by myself with a couple of candles lit and I just let it happen. And here's a lot of grievers tell me, if I start, I'll never stop. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. It is absolutely not true. If you start, you will stop. Your body is not going to let you continue on with the crying. It is just like that moment. It's just like that moment where you're not eating in the beginning. How many of you went back to eating? Your body's not going to let you just keep going. Your brain's not going to let you. It's not going to let you just sit there and die. It will not just let you sit there and die. I promise you that it won't. And while it may feel like it will never stop, it always does. You will catch your breath again. You will rise again. But in that moment, you will let it out. It was not weakness. It was love trying to survive the impossible. Now, let's get into it. I just want to make sure you guys I just want to make sure that you guys understand that the ugly cry is something that you have to do. And I don't know how many times you're going to do it, but we need to stop resisting it. We need to stop resisting it. We have to go in here. Thank you, Gracie. Gracie says, thank you for the validation. The stigma that crying is weakness is so untrue. No, it's a part of grief. They go together. They're kissing cousins. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. We should cry. We absolutely should cry. What are we afraid of if we absolutely go after the grief? What are we afraid of if we absolutely go after the healing? Real quick, and I'm going to get into this. Linda says, I feel like I need to do the ugly cry. Go sit and do the ugly cry, my love. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for the roses. Go sit and bring it up. Sit with your person. Set a time. Do it Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, after everybody goes to bed. You can simply open your phone and look at pictures of them. Play their funeral song. It will start to come up. You can start doing a brain dump. All the things you miss and bring it up. Okay, what do you think will happen? Not what the books say, not what your therapist is saying, not what well-meaning friends are telling you. What are you afraid of? If you stop grieving, what are you afraid of? If you stop grieving, what would that mean to you? Friends, I absolutely believe that every single one of us are going to have multiple grieving experiences throughout our life. We talked about that this week. If you want to go look at the live, you can find it in the Facebook group called the Grief School. I talked about the different types of grieving experiences that they are. We will all have multiple grieving experiences throughout our life. We will. We all will. Right? We're supposed to grieve. We're supposed to have grief. But grief is supposed to pass through us. That's not a daisy, that's your stomach. This is your brain. Here's your nervous system. Grief is a broken heart. It's going to affect every part of your body. Grief will affect every part of your body. It will affect your brain. It will affect your heart. It will affect your stomach. It will affect your joints. It will affect the way you live your life. It changes everything. Your nervous system is definitely attacked with grief. All of this is grief because it's a full body experience. And we will have multiple grieving experiences throughout our life. We're going to have more than one. But grief is supposed to go through us and come out the other side. We're supposed to have this grieving experience right here, and it is supposed to go through us. Our job is to look at this grieving experience. How is it affecting my brain? How is it affecting my heart? How is it affecting my body? Why is my nervous system affected? What is it I miss? What do I still need to say to my person? What are the things I still need to say to him or her? What did I not get right when they were here? It is a total review. Grief is supposed to pass through us and come out the other side. But that's not what happens. We come upon our grieving experience, this one. Yes, you're right, Linda Lou. They're all different. We come upon this one, and then we do this. We stop. We don't move. We're frozen in time. Because here's the truth for many of us. The pain has become more than just something that we feel. It's become the space that they have lived in. It's the identity that they formed since the day that person died. The grief isn't just about missing them. It has become proof that they were real. It's become proof that I loved. It is the love. The grief now starts to become the symbol of love, the loyalty that I had to them, the connection that I had to them. And that's exactly why it's so terrifying when we imagine a life without them. But when you're imagining a life without them, you're here in your brain. You're thinking the thought. Sometimes you say things like, I can't go on. I can't go on with this grief. I can't do this. It's a form of resisting. It's a form of resisting. Yes, Golio, you will always love your son. We always love our person. But we're not really talking about the grief. We're talking about what the grief represents. What are you really saying when you say you can't let go of the grief? What are you really saying when you're refusing to let the grief go? I can't let go of this grief. I can't let go of this grief. What you're really saying is, I can't stop hurting. This is what they left me. If I deal with this, then what am I going to have left? If I stop crying, then I'm letting go of them. If I move forward in my life, if I enjoy a cup of vanilla ice cream, if I go to the mall and go shopping and have fun, it won't be respectful to them. If I move forward, it doesn't mean they're no longer with me. I won't tell anybody. Are you afraid of losing them more? Are you afraid of losing your person even more? Are you afraid of losing the pain itself? Has the pain become so precious to you? Suzanne says you can't or you won't. That is a very good question. You can't do it or you won't do it. Are you afraid of losing more than just your person? Are you afraid of losing the pain itself? For so many of us, grief becomes the last thread of connection. And I get that. I get that. Linda Lou says, if I laugh, it won't be fair to them. So many grievers take on the life sentence. The minute that they have found out that they have lost their person, they put themselves in a forever jail. You put yourselves in a forever jail. We start serving our life sentence that day. The day that we get the call. The day that we find out that they're no longer coming back. We put ourselves in this forever jail. It's the grief jail. And we have a life sentence. She's in forever jail. She's never going to come out. You can come and see her. The visiting hours are open. You can come and see her at any time. Anytime you want to hang out with her, you can come and see her. But she's going to be like this. Yeah. You know, my Bobby loved ice cream, but I can't eat ice cream. You know, my Bobby loved to dance, but if I think of dancing, it's just so hard. You know, my Bobby, and we talk about our Bobby and we say all the things about Bobby. And it doesn't matter what happens. We're taking our conversation and we're making it about Bobby. Why? Because we're at the party where everybody's having a good time, but we're in this forever jail. Look at my jail, my friends. This is something that I teach at the grief school. It is a jail of our own making. Thank you, Suzanne. It is a jail of our own making. But here's the truth about the jail. The jail only has 2 bars. And if at any time we could have stepped out and been set free. But we don't do that. At this jail of our own making, we force ourselves to do the grief jail for life. We think we were given a life sentence. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. You can set yourself free from the grief jail. I know that you wake up every morning hurting. I know that you're trying to prove that his life mattered. I know that a lot of you are breaking down every night. I know that your love is real. But I still also know that you can heal from the brokenness in your heart. Hear me out. You can heal from the brokenness in your heart. And a lot of times, that's where the fear lives. So we're in jail. Our heart is absolutely broken. And what we have is fear. Fear lives here. The fear of moving on. The fear of doing the ugly cry. The fear of what my life will be like without him. The fear. Okay, here's my first question. If your pain softens, if your pain were to soften, your love might fade. True or false? If your pain were to soften, your love might fade. Is that true or false? True or false? If your pain softens, your love might fade. Linda Lou says, but your heart is still broken. False. False. Suzanne said, no, it becomes more full, full with love, full with joy. Hey, Paula. Oh, gosh, you're right with me, Suzanne. She said it's a fallacy that your connection to your loved one gets weaker when it actually gets stronger. Okay, false. We might believe this to be true. And believe is actually what the belief that if the belief that our love will fade if we work on our grief is absolutely what's keeping us stuck. Let's not pretend that this is easy. I'm not pretending that this is easy. I'm not saying this is easy. Hear me out. Being married is the hardest thing I've done. Raising children is the hardest thing I've done. Grieving and working on a broken heart is the hardest thing I've done. And none of them come with instructions. So we're expected to figure this out on our own. I'm not pretending that this is easy. Losing your person didn't just break your heart. It shattered who you were. That person of who you were, she no longer exists. The role that you held, the dreams, the expectations that you held, they're gone. They are gone from this world. We have to tell the truth. Everything is changed. Everything is different now. I am no longer Sharon's best friend in a physical form. She will forever be my best friend. But I don't have her here. I can't introduce her to you. You know her because of me. And in the wake of the loss, the grief steps into our heart and it fills that spot and it covers up the love. And then that starts to become comfortable. That starts to become who we are. And at some point, it becomes hard to tell where the love starts or the grief starts, where the grief ends or the love ends. We don't know what's going on. It gets all meshed together. And here's the part no one is saying out loud. Healing from a broken heart threatens your new identity. Healing from a broken heart threatens your new identity. If you start to feel better, then who are you going to be now? Are you not going to be the lady in jail? Are you going to be the lady who laughs? Are you going to be the lady who talks about your person? Are you going to be able to tell Austin stories? Can you tell stories about you and Sharon, crazy things you guys used to do? If you start feeling better, who are you now? If your whole identity became the grieving lady, who are you now? If you're not actually grieving every moment of every day, being sad, crying around everyone, not going to the event, trust me, friends, grievers have choices. They do have choices. But when we are grieving 4, 5, and 6 years in, and we're still acting like that, we are stuck. You are absolutely stuck in your grief. I meet people 4 months in that are stuck. And if you get stuck in your grief, what is it saying about you? And if you get stuck in your grief, what is it saying about you? But I want to ask you this, what is it saying about your love? What is it saying about your love for your person? I never said stop loving, Jennifer. I never said stop loving. You have more love. You have more energy for your person. I'll never stop loving my daughter. My grief is a product of my broken heart and a disappointment. Yes, that's the part you have to go after. I have to go after my grief, my broken heart, and my disappointment so that I can have more love of my person. You don't stop loving them. You actually have more from them. Thank you, Paula. Paula says you're not going to stop loving her. You're just staying consumed in your grief. Um, Golio, I'm going to call you Golio, says I was diagnosed with complicated grief. Hear me out, Golio. I'm so glad that you got that diagnosis. You still have to go after your grief. You still go after the grief. You still do your grief work, one baby step at a time. Paula says, I'm speaking of experience. I lost my son on August 12th, 2022. Thank you, Paula. What does it say about you if you just choose to stay in this grief jail? This is where I see so many grievers stop. They go into the jail, they walk into the jail, they lock themselves up, they throw away the key, and that's where they stay. Not because they can't heal, but because the idea of healing feels like erasing something sacred. It feels like erasing something so sacred and so beautiful. But here's what I want to offer you today. What if healing isn't about erasing? What if it's not about erasing anything? What if it's not about letting go of your person? What if it's about learning how to carry this pain? What if it's about learning how to process this pain differently? What if you get more connected to your person because you do the pain? What if you have more love in your heart because of the pain, because of the grief process? There is a version of you that is holding onto their memory with gentleness instead of agony. A lot of us are stuck in the agony. There's a version of you that can talk about them with tears, with laughter, without falling apart. There is a version of you deep down inside of you. There's a version of you that can live and that can still love them and can still have them. You've been so busy surviving, so busy trying to survive, so busy figuring out how to sit in this jail comfortably that you haven't. I think a lot of us, because not a lot of people are talking about it, we don't realize there's another option. Grievers have choices. Staying in your grief jail for your life sentence is a choice. Working on your broken heart is also a choice. Are you ready to feel something different than just pain? Are you ready to feel something different? Are you ready to see this grief in a different way? Okay, I still consider myself a griever. I am a griever. We are all grievers. I will forever be a griever, but I am not actively grieving. At this moment, as you guys see me, I'm not actively grieving. I had a grieving experience last week. I went to Arizona to see about my mom, who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. We had to put her in palliative care. That was a grieving experience for me. That was a huge loss. I'm not actively grieving. I had a grieving experience last week. We have to learn that we will have multiple grieving experiences throughout our life, and we need to learn how to move this grief along. Sometimes we feel we have a good day and we feel really bad and we go right back to the bad day. We get onto, we step out of the jail for a second and then we put ourselves right back in. I'm telling you guys, that's exhausting. No, 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 no. And we back up into the jail. It's exhausting. It takes every bit of energy we have to grieve. 100%. It takes every bit of energy you have to grieve. What if I forget them? This is who I am now. I'm the forever griever. I'm going to grieve like this for the rest of my life. Hear me out when I say this, because I'm going to say it really loud for the people in the back. You are not your grief. Hello? You are not your grief. You are the person who experienced their love. You are the person, and you deserve to survive. You are not living a life sentence. You deserve to live again. You are not your grief. Your grief is your heart. Your grief is your love. But don't let it consume you 100% and step into that and be the perpetual griever. I'm sorry. It was never meant to be that way. Grief was meant to serve a purpose, to come here and go through us. You're allowed to miss your person and still laugh. You're allowed to cry for them. You're allowed to still have dreams. You're allowed to love them. And you are allowed to live again. Healing is about making room for the joy, making room for the peace, taking a breath. It is the story that we've been telling ourselves for a very long time. I did not know in June 17th, it was June 17th, 2006, I didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know. I didn't know how to be here for you guys. I did not know. And I went out on a mission, not for you guys because I didn't know you then, but to save Erica. To save Erica because I thought she was broken. Like broken. Like she was never going to be the same again. When I think about it, it was going to be Erica and Lewis, not Erica, Lewis, Brittany, my daughter Brittany, or Donovan. Not Erica, Lewis, Brittany, Donovan, and the 21 other family members that were on the trip. Only Erica and Lewis. I thought the kids would be okay. I thought they would bounce back. They're young. I had a grieving experience when I was young, and I bounced back. So naive. You have to face what's holding you back. You have to face what you're holding on to. What are you really afraid of? You all have a grief story. We all have a grief story. And that grief story, for some of us, began the day we got the call. For some of us, that grief story began the day we found out. For some of us, it began before that. For some of us, that grief story begins in our childhood. For some of us, our grief story is not just attached to our person that we lost, it's also attached to someone else in our life. For some of us, the grief story started in our childhood. But what you're bringing me is this. And you and I can look all through this. And guess what? In the 3rd grade is when this started. What story have you been telling yourself about how grief works? Are you like me? Are you saying that you can never get over this grief? Are you saying you're broken? Are you saying you've given a life sentence? It is the role you have taken on as the griever. You've taken this on as the griever, the one that hurts, the one that cries, the one that mourns deeply and fully every single day. That's your role. I get that. I get that that is your role right now, but it is not your identity. And it is not where you need to stay for the rest of your life. Are you afraid of what people will say? I don't care what people say. Let them say whatever they want. They're going to say it anyway. They're going to say things anyway. Let them say it. Better with netter, it ends. Grief ends. It absolutely does. 100%. Are you afraid of healing? What it'll mean if you say goodbye to this pain? What will it mean? It means you go on to live your life. It means you go on to live your life and you take them with you. It means you take every part of them with you. I talk about Austin all the time. I talk about my dad. I talk about Sharon. The one I don't talk about that much is Donovan. I need to start telling the. And you know why I don't tell the Donovan story? And it's true. It's not on purpose. It happened innately. Erica tells the Donovan story, and her story with Donovan is so beautiful. It just happens. I always tell the Austin story. She always tells the Donovan story. If you guys want to hear the Austin and Donovan story, if you go to the link in my bio, there you can click on the link that says Erica's book, and you can buy Erica's book. She tells her story. It's a beautiful book. It came out about a month ago. She just had her first book signing. She's having another one in July in California. Very also, I think it's June 8th. I'm going to find out and I'll put the link in here. She's doing a question and answer session on Facebook. So I want to tell you guys, Suzanne said her book is absolutely beautiful. I want to tell you guys about her question and answer, especially for anyone that's lost a child. She does more in the grief than she talks more in the book about than just losing the children. She shares other losses in her life, her divorce, her child out of wedlock, all of that. Her relationship with our mom. She shares a lot of it. Most of the time, when I ask people, do you believe your person would want you to hurt this much? I don't really ask that much, but sometimes I do because I don't think, oh, Paula, that's awesome. I don't think it's our place to ask that. Do you think? Because with some of us, we don't know. And I say this all the time. Donovan would definitely want me grieving because he was such a pretty committee guy. And they say their person wouldn't want him suffering. A lot of times people say to me, he wouldn't. Yes, it's on Amazon. Suzanne, what's the title of the book? I'm sorry. I don't know off the top of my head. And you go into the link will take you right into Amazon. If you go on the link in my bio, click on the link that says click here for hope. I don't make any money off the book. I just wanted to be able to advertise the book for her. Most of the time when I ask people if their person would still want them in pain, which I don't often ask that, they say that their person wouldn't want them suffering. But deep down, they're still clinging to the pain. Even though you know your person wouldn't want you suffering, you're still clinging to the pain. Most of us cannot control that our person died. Most of us cannot control that our person died. Thank you. Thank you, Paula. But we can control how much you let yourself heal. I can't control that Austin drowned on Father's Day weekend at the lake with my brother and my brother-in-law. I can't control that. But what I can control is my healing. Grievers have choices. And my healing was my choice. Going after it was the way that I absolutely had to learn. Thank you, Suzanne. Loving, losing, and living. How I navigated my grief journey. You cannot control that they died, but you can control this grief. You can control this broken heart. And sometimes we unconsciously use the control to hold on to the pain. We keep the pain pushed down so hard because it gives us a sense of power. It gives us a sense of power in the world that has been taken because they've been taken away from us. So we want this power. We want this thing to hold on to because what happened to us isn't, yeah, Erica Patrice Honore, because what happened to us isn't true. It isn't fair. I'm laughing because she used her middle name. Here's what I want you to hear clearly. Your pain is not the only proof that they still mattered. Your love is. Your pain is not the only proof that they mattered. Your story is. Your grief story is. This is not the only proof that they mattered. There's other parts of this. Your story, your love, your hate. I got to tell you, hate can be a part of it. Their story lives in you. Their impact, the impact that they made on your life, it lives in you. Your love for them didn't die with them. It's in every step you take, in every breath you take. And the best way to honor that love is for you to acknowledge that you are in pain, that you are grieving, that you are suffering, that you've put yourself in the forever jail, and figure out how to work your way out. Is my mom's saying, get up, or what about me? You got to clarify. I'm not sure. The best way to honor your love for them is to really go after the pain. So I want to ask you this. I want to ask everybody this. True or false? Is it true or false that the only way to love them is to stay in this pain forever? True or false? The only way to love them is to stay in this pain forever. True or false? Golio says false. Linda Lou says false. Suzanne says no. Um, Little 888 says false. EK says false. Sandra says false. Christy says false. So we know that it's not true. The only way to love them is to stay in this pain. Then what's holding us back? The truth is, your love is going to remain, even as you grow deeper. When you stop letting the pain be the only connection to them, the connection is in the stories, it's in the love, it's in the impact. It could be in the hate. These are so much bigger than the pain. But you have to be willing to walk the path. Better than Netter, she says, getting up and moving forward, or remember me. It's both. You get up and move forward and you remember mom. It's both. I talk about Austin all the time. I talk about Donovan all the time. I have them with me in my heart. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to spend the rest of your life proving your love for them by staying stuck in this pain. You don't have to stay in this place. Let me say it again. You don't have to stay here. You get both. You get to take them with you and your love. You don't have to spend the rest of your life proving your love for them. It is not required. This is not a rule that someone made. What are you actually afraid of? That you'll lose yourself? Or you'll find a new version of yourself? One who still remembers, or one who still honors? Are you allowed to let peace in? Are we allowed to let peace in? Are you afraid you're going to forget them? Because you won't. Are you afraid you'll start to remember them more clearly? Because you will. Are you afraid you're going to start to remember them more clearly without the constant ache? Because you will. Are you afraid you're going to remember them more clearly without the constant ache and this chest pain that you have? You will. Will others judge you? Probably. Probably. Or will they finally see you choosing life in the midst of the loss? When I tell Eric and I tell this story, we told it in our interview the other day, but she tends to be really sarcastic sometimes and funny. She's so funny. And so sometimes we'd be doing a podcast and she'd be cracking a joke. And I'm like, stop that. These people are grieving. We can't be cracking the jokes. And one day she said to me, yeah, Sharon, but we're not selling grief. Grief already exists. I'm not selling grief. I'm selling healing. And so will people judge you? Probably. Will you laugh too loud sometimes? Probably. But I'm going to tell you, it is going to be the best. EK, there's 47 or more known losses. Go back to my video. I think it was from Wednesday. And I break down the types of grief. There are 47 or more known losses. I see you, Monette. I'm going to reach out to you. There are 47 or more known losses that a griever needs. Everybody, can we tap the screen for Monette? She needs some love. And we're going to be here for her this weekend. You will not forget them, I promise you. You're not dishonoring them. You are not dishonoring them. You're not letting them go by healing. You are choosing to make room for something more than just pain. Hear me out. You're making room for something more than just the pain. I'm taking out the pain. The story, your story with them remains. Your love for them remains. The impact that they had on your life remains. If this is hate, if there's hate, it goes along with the pain. We X that out. The reason I put hate in there, because sometimes we grieve people that we hate. It's not always people that we love. So that gets taken out. But here's what happens to the love. The love grows bigger. The story grows bigger. The impact that they made on your life grows bigger. All of this gets bigger, because this gets pushed out. It's gone. I'm afraid I'll never get back to before she was gone, but I do laugh all the time. Better than netter, you never get back to that. You get back to a better version of you because you've been through an experience. You've been through an experience, a really tough experience. Days, can we tap the screen for Bentley and Days? She had to put her fur baby down yesterday. She says she's a mess. We love you, Days. Thank you for sharing. Do all the crying you need right now, my love. You're not dishonoring your person by living. You're not letting go of them by healing. You're choosing to make room for something new, something more. You are not weak for healing. You're saying, I'm strong for even considering it. You are not broken. You are hurting. You are not broken. You are hurting. And that hurt has to be healed in order for you to move on in your forever changed new life. I am forever changed. I'm forever changed from all of them, but Sharon changed me the most. You're not betraying your person because you decide to do the healing work. Yes, Laura, it's hard. And yes, it does take time. And for everyone, it takes a different time. But here's the deal. I can't keep holding you guys back. I got to tell you the truth. We can't stay like this forever. We can't stay in this place forever. You are allowed to heal. You're allowed to see yourself forever changed. You're allowed to be this person who has mom with you for the rest of your life. Okay. One of the things that I really wanted to do in the beginning was create the best definition of grief. So Erica and I, many, many years ago, wrote a book called The Griever's Guide. If you go to the link in my bio, or you click the link in the description here, Beacon AI at the Grief School, and this one is, click here for hope. You can download The Griever's Guide. You can now download it. It is printable. I made it printable for you guys. Every Tuesday from 1 to 3, I go live in a Zoom with whoever wants to show up. Whoever wants to have help, whoever wants to come to the Grief Study Hall. If you're struggling in any way, I suggest you come to Grief Study Hall. Every Thursday evening, I do Honor Society. Honor Society is anyone who's been through processing the pain of grief. I teach you how to process the grief so you're not just stuck in it. It's the first part of healing. We have to learn how to do this thing. We weren't given the instructions on it. Laura says, I wish I had heard this when I lost my mom, my dad, and my sister. It's never too late, Laura. It's never too late. I'm work with grievers who've had their loss over 30 or 40 years ago. I want to show you, each and every one of you, how to carry your love forward without suffering, without dragging you under, without feeling like you're drowning. I want to show you how to do it. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm the owner of the Grief School, the place where healing begins. We have got to change the way we grieve. We've got to change the way we grieve, because if we don't change the way we grieve, our kids are going to come up, and when they have their multiple grieving experiences, they're going to be exactly like we are right now, trying to figure out how the hell to get out of this. It's over. We're not doing it the old way anymore. We're doing it the new way. We're learning how to grieve. That's the new way. We're talking about how to move this pain, what purpose the pain serves, and why do we feel so broken. That's where we're going from now on. That's all I want to talk about, is how to get out of here. And I have been coming live consistently for a while, but these consistent days that I picked, and I repeat stuff, but I haven't repeated topics. Guys, this is how deep grief is. I can come up with topics over and over again. Okay, I'm not going to stay in TikTok today, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't even know. My husband was a stuntman, and he was a stuntman for Mr. T for 5 years. And this beautiful group of gentlemen in Germany wrote a book about the A-Team, all of the things behind the scenes, because they love, love, love the A-Team. Anyway, the gentleman from Germany came. My husband had to go to the book signing. It was an absolutely beautiful event. We went to California. Well, Mr. T is in Dallas this weekend. And so we're going to go and take a picture with him. But I need you guys to pray for me. I need you to pray for me, because I told Brittany that I would babysit the twins. So I'm going to be walking into, I'm sure, is a live grieving experience, because I'm sharing this with you guys. I'll post pictures. And Spider-Man's supposed to be there. It's like some Comic-Con thing. I don't know. Anyway, so we're taking the twins. We're going there. Brittany's going to do her open house. And I hope that it all works out for the kid from Germany. I mean, he's so in love with this show. I really hope that it works out for him. I will hope that it works out for him and Tony, and they really have, a really great experience. So I'm going to be there, probably going crazy. So just send me some love. I love you all. I see you. I am you. We are all grievers. We are all forever grievers. But we need to learn a different way to grieve. We have to learn a different way to grieve. Staying like this is not a way. It's an option. You have choices, but if you choose this, it's up to you. Yes. So she says better with Netter says, I concentrate on what I'm grateful for. But sometimes that doesn't always work. Sometimes that wears off. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes what we have to do is absolutely go into the grief. Netter better. There's a lot of people that are like, I'm just going to see what I'm grateful for. When you're leaning into the gratitude all the time, you're also pretending that you're not grieving. I'm not disrespecting you at all. I'm not trying to disrespect you, and I don't want to offend you. Because the other times when we're not in gratitude, We're pretending that the grief doesn't exist. We're pretending like we don't have grief. You're welcome, Deborah. So I will be back on Tuesday. I will be back on Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'll be back on Tuesday at 11 a.m. I don't know the title yet. I haven't created it, but I'll post it in the group. Hey, friends, I love each and every one of you. I'm so glad you got to join me today. Please go do the ugly cry if you need it. Please go and do the ugly cry. Click the link in the bio that says click here for hope. There you can get on the Facebook group, The Grief School, and you can watch this over again in the beginning. If you weren't here, I talk about the ugly cry. Please click on the link that says click here for hope. And there you'll see, I'm going to make videos of me struggling with the twins. I will see you guys all on Tuesday. I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Bye, friends.